This is a video showing how to create a PDF of the two objects that you drew in the Geoquick, the gasket and the cam. So after you finish the gasket and the cam, which have been drawn in model space, and we haven't really discussed that much yet, but right down here it says model, lower left corner. If you click on the tab next to it that says multi-view, what happens is you're taken into what is called paper space in AutoCAD. And we actually print from paper space. If you zoom into the lower right corner, you're going to see a title block, and you can fill out the information in the title block by moving your cursor onto the text and double clicking with the left button of your mouse. And so all you need to do at that point is type in what you want to type in. You can do the same thing for the scale. For some reason mine is giving me this spelling thing. Could not start the speller. I don't know why it's doing that, but I don't really need the speller to be running all the time. But the point is that you go through here and you change all that text before you print this. Now, one thing I want to caution you about is this. If you double click and you're not exactly on the text, like you're just off into the white space a little bit, if you double click there, what AutoCAD does, it actually throws you back into model space. You can see the word model right down here at the bottom of the screen. And this text is not in model space, it's in paper space. So when you try to change the text, you can't do anything, because what you could change would be things that are back in model space, like your drawing. So what you have to do if you want to continue to edit text is get back into paper space. So come down here where it says model and pick again, and then you'll see paper at the bottom. And now if you carefully double click on the text, you'll be able to go in and edit just the text. After you have your title block filled out and you're ready to plot it, we're going to plot this as a PDF, so we're not going to actually need a printer to send it to. So here's how you plot. Right up here at the very top, there's a plot icon. When you click on the plot icon, you may get this batch plot question. And we're going to continue to plot a single sheet. But if you don't want to see this every time you plot, just put a checkbox in that box right there, and then select continue to plot a single sheet. What's going to happen at that point is you're probably going to see this dialog box right here. This is your plot dialog box. And for the printer and the plotter, you need to choose an Adobe PDF. So if you pick on the down arrow, and if you see an Adobe PDF, you should pick that. Now, if you don't have an Adobe PDF driver loaded, you probably won't see that. But if you've loaded Adobe Acrobat, or you have something like that that brings in that Adobe PDF driver, you'll have it. If you don't see Adobe PDF, try AutoCAD PDF General Documentation.pc3. So you pick on that, and then you'll look over here at what your other options are to plot this, and one is paper size. Pick on the down arrow, and what you want to find in all these paper sizes is an ANSI A, which is 8.5 by 11 inches. Now, you might also just see one called letter size, and you could pick on letter size too if you want to. But we want to plot this out 8.5 by 11. It says plot area, what to plot. We want to plot the layout. Now, the layout is the white background that we see on this. That's already been predefined. The plot scale, right now the layout is set to print to 1:1. If you try to fit to paper, if you try to reduce it automatically, it can't print this layout, and you would have to do a custom window or something to print instead. And then it asks you for the plot origin, and this refers to where the lower left-hand corner of the plot begins. So what I always recommend is previewing the plot, and we're going to do that in just a second, but I want to show you one other thing. If you don't see some extra information over here on the right side, there is an arrow right over here, and you need to pick on that arrow. And we don't want to plot in color, so what we're going to plot is monochrome. So you can go up here and pick monochrome, You can also plot line weights, though I don't think we have any different line thicknesses set for this, but generally you would plot line weights. So with all of those things set, you should preview. All right. Now, I noticed when I kind of ran a preview earlier that for some reason it's cutting off part of my drawing here. And, you know, I'm not really plotting this, so I can just go ahead and pick on the plotter. And if I do, it's going to take me to a file manager so that I can name this and locate it in a folder. If I want to try to move this over, what I can do is I can pick on this X right up here, which cancels the plot. And what I could try to do is move this to the left on the X-axis. So I'm going to type minus 0.5. And I'm not sure this is going to do any good or not, but then I'm going to pick preview. Okay, so looks like that one moved it over so far it cut off even my left border, but it didn't give me everything over here. So again, I'm trying to plot this with using the Adobe PDF, I'm sorry, the AutoCAD PDF, and that may be why things are happening the way they are. I'm going to switch over and choose my Adobe PDF, keep all the settings the same in preview and see what that does. Okay, so it looks like on that one I definitely want to take out this minus 0.5, maybe make that minus 0.25, and then preview. All right, still not enough. Pick on the X. Maybe 0 will work here. And let's preview that. All right, so I can see the edge of my border now with a 0. So if I'm ready to plot, instead of picking the X, I go ahead and I pick on the plotter icon. And that takes me to where I can save this. And where I'm going to save this would be on my Google file stream in my drive. And then I would pick the folder that I made that has my student ID number. This is an employee ID. Yours will be a student ID. Click on that. Double click on it if you want. Then I made a folder named DFTG1405. Double click there. And then I made 2 folders, one called Capstone and one called Daily Work. Double click on Daily Work. And then right over here, I can call these projects 4.1 and 4.2. Or I could label it as Geoquick and pick Save. And you can see Save as type. It's going to save that as a PDF and just choose Save. All right, now once that goes in, it opens the PDF Acrobat reader, and in fact mine's Acrobat Pro, and you can open it up and see what you have. Now I can create an email and send it to me. In your case, you would be sending it to me. So you would compose an email. You would send it to douglas@austincc.edu. And then you would go to the Attach File tool. And what you would want to do, let me drag this over so we can see it. Let's say we do a compose, and you do this to Douglas. And you go down here where it says Attach File. And what I would do is just go where I just saved that. Pick that, pick Open. And it would attach that PDF. And then I could type in here, hey Doug, here's my Geoquick project. And then pick Send, and that would send it to me. So I'm not requiring that you send this to me, but if you want to, you're certainly welcome to. All right, with that, I'm going to stop the video.